I don't know. Oops, I think I have to adjust my camera here. And the screen. So give me a second, we'll just get started. You're joining me in the kitchen today. And we're gonna do some really fun make and takes all about spring cleaning. And there we go. Adjust my screen so I can see everybody on Facebook and on Zoom. Okay, so if you have glass bottles or plastic bottles, whatever you like to use for your cleaning, go ahead and grab them, and we're going to refill them or top them up as we do this. And if you don't, just grab a piece of paper and some pens, and we'll jot down a few of these recipes to get you started. And we'll talk a little bit about why this works and what are the different options maybe for making this super easy. Spring cleaning, I know in our house tends to be a little bit scattered as to here and there. What I love about the spring cleanse is it gives me I actually set aside time to do different things. So my pantry, I won't open the door yet because we've not started the spring cleanse, so it needs to have a major overhaul. We actually call that, we have one day during every week of the spring cleanse, we call it our kitchen sadhana day, where we just kind of prepare, right? And so for me, that's clearing out the pantry, it could be making those meal lists, it could be getting all that together, but it's just that, and sadhana just is that time, that quiet time, right? Or that setting aside that clearing space time. And so that's our kitchen practice, essentially, is what it, I think, directly translates into. So that's always super fun to do. But today you're going to, pop in with me as I fill up some bottles and we do some of the things. And it is so super easy, and it is so inexpensive compared to other solutions that you buy in the store. And I love too that it's so simple. It's just things you already have on hand typically. So first one we'll pop into here. They have a glass and window cleaner that is empty. So it's basically a quarter of vinegar and 3/4 of water on top of that. If I can get my words together today. And then I add about 20 to 30 drops of essential oil would go into this jar, I think is my official recipe. I don't have my official recipes. I kind of do them off the cuff. If you're in the spring cleanse, I will be sending out all the recipes and stuff like that with that. So you can do something like lemon, you can do lime. Any of the citruses are really good on that. Lemon is that really good degreaser, that aspect. And then we're talking about on our call, our detox call, where we were experimenting with this new abode blend. So I'll show you. That's what that new one looks like on there. And it smells just divine. I actually quite love it. It is not one that it's one that we use like topically for cleaning things. We don't take it internally, and we don't even put it on our skin. There can be some skin irritations. I forgot about that because there was 2 blends that came out at the same time, and I was using this one on my skin instead of the other one, and I had no problem. But just in case you have skin sensitivities, that's not recommended to do that. I do kind of almost like it as my little grounding perfume, but you just get the smell when you clean the house. Okay, so that's about 15 to 20 drops kind of go into that. And then I'm going to go quarter vinegar. And what I'll do here, actually, see if I've got it handy. No, I didn't grab it. I have a tiny little vinegar spray, but I'll just go a quarter vinegar. And then what I do, I don't put everything into this because sometimes these jars are a little bit smaller than we think. So I just add my quarter vinegar to that one, and then I just top it up with the water so that it's not going to overflow on me. The proportions aren't, super critical on this. And this is essentially what I would do for a mat spray, yoga mat spray. Yoga mat spray, I use tea tree and lavender. Citruses are our cleansers, but they are also our plastic eaters, right? So if your yoga mat has any plastics in it, it's just over a long period of time, that's probably not a good idea. So I like the tea tree and lavender for that one. Those are both really good cleansing properties in there. And there we go. It's done. It's finished. Ready to go. Just give it a little shake before you use it. And easy peasy, right? Can't get much easier than that in that regard. So that's the glass cleaner that I always do. The typical ones that I use for cleaning the house, and I can clean most of the house with this, is I have my glass cleaner. I'll have an all-purpose cleaner, and there are many different recipes. I'll send you, like in the cleanse, I got a few different variations of that. So you can make the all-purpose with the On Guard Cleaner Concentrate and just diluting it down from that. You can make it with the On Guard. You can make it with the Abode. doTERRA has put together a new little multi-purpose cleaner, actually. Actually, I have a whole, I don't know if you can see it here on my crowded countertop. They have a whole new line of products. So they have this multi-purpose spray and they have these like fancy little bottles. So it looks quite pretty. You almost want to just go cleaning because they're just like sitting out on the countertop, right? And with this particular, wow, this is a multi-purpose. They've actually got like the fill lines and everything on here. So they have a little concentrate. So this is an aluminum. So you buy this once, this jar, and then this is an aluminum containers that you would buy these refills. You can get them as a 4-pack of refills. That's what I typically do. And then it's just a simple matter of, so this one's full, so I'm not going to do that. But if I was to do it, the cleaner, the concentrate comes in here, and it's this cute little line up at the top. Where to find that? It has these little like water waves, and that's where you fill the water to, right? And all their products have the same thing. So they have that. They have dish soap. This one doesn't come as a concentrate. It does have some really good enzymes and things like that to work naturally on your dishes. And then they have a hand wash, which has the same thing. This one here doesn't have an individual fill. It's a larger aluminum one. So it takes a couple times, like about 3 times to fill it. So this one lasts quite a bit. And then there's the fill line on that. So a nice little beautiful series. Oh, and then the last one here is, where'd it go? Oh yeah, the hand lotion. This is a beautiful hand lotion that they've put together with the citrus bloom, which is always a nice one. I'll get to that. Okay, but so the multi-purpose, I have one here that is empty. I have a few around the house. I must confess, I do have a cleaning company that comes in and does this house for me because we have another place in the mountains where I get to clean. So this one, I have a couple of jars of this, so the cleaning crew can kind of go at it. This jar is bigger than this jar, so I just kind of eyeball it that I'm not going to fill it. I'm going to fill it up to the top of this line. It's kind of what I've figured out for one of those. And again, not super, super critical, but that's the suggested ratio for doing that. And then aluminum, why they chose aluminum is because it is over 70% recycled. It's got a really high recycle rate compared to plastics and so forth. So they're trying to give us some, either glass or aluminum. Oh, actually, sorry, this is a glass bottle. The other ones are aluminum that they come in. The other ones that you replenish them with. So this is glass and aluminum are your top choices for recyclability because the plastics just aren't really getting out of landfills, right? So that's my super easy way now of doing this one. I just use that cleaner concentrate, and this works amazing. This stuff is great for doing all sorts of things, like countertops come out nice and sparkly, not a lot of scrubbing involved, that type of thing. This is the one that I will use. I often just use this on a rag, and I will just put, especially for bathrooms. This was my big aha moment when I finally gave up my bathroom cleaner. And this I just put a little bit on the sponge and then wipe it down and then rinse it with another cloth type thing. I'll just take a nice damp cloth and just go back afterwards. And that's super easy for cleaning all sorts of tough screen drains and my countertops in the bathroom and the sinks and the toilets. I just give a little squeeze of this one around the surface of the toilet and then let it soak while I'm doing other things. And then I come back with my toilet brush and it's all good, right? So super as simple as it can get on that. The other one that's a little bit different is the wood polish. So I remember growing up, my parents always had this orange wood polish. And nowadays you get these sprays and different things which aren't necessarily as good, and I find sometimes they attract dust more than they get rid of it. So this is basically, it's olive oil. So this one is a 1/4 cup olive oil, a 1/4 cup vinegar, and then I do 5 drops of wild orange, 3 of arborvitae, and 2 of lemon. And that gives a nice, and then this one here I find as we spray it, I'll either spray it on my rag and then wipe down and kind of, I give it a good polish with the wood. So I don't use this one as often. It doesn't need to be done as frequently, but this is when you kind of when you want to polish it and get that nice sheen to any of your wood furniture type thing going on. Okay, so those are the ones for cleaning. That's our DIY. Oh, the other products that doTERRA just came out with too. Love these. These are the dishwasher pots, right? And so you can just pop these into the dishwasher and you don't have to worry about what kind of residue is on your dishes anymore. So when they do come in a fairly large size bag of when you get them, super handy. And then they have laundry pods that they do that with as well. And I still love, I didn't bring that one out here, but they're doTERRA laundry detergent. So some of these products are only available on the US site. So for our Canadian crew, these guys, this is my US purchase. These are US purchase, but the laundry soap and this one both come from Canada. Okay, so you can get those delivered almost instantly to your door from the Canadian site. And the laundry soap, so I still use that one, especially on my delicates and stuff like that. If I'm using a delicate load, it has, and I've had really good rave reviews on it from customers that have skin sensitivities on any of their clothes. It works really well for cleaning, but it uses natural enzymes instead of the harsher detergent. So it's gonna be better in our water system going down. And it's not gonna be, so I would do baby clothes, that type of thing. All my delicates go into that. It doesn't give any skin sensitivity. So if you tend to get a reaction to the laundry soaps and stuff, this could be your new best friend on that one. Okay, any questions on that guy as we go through?
What size bottles, Krista?
What size bottles? Oh, good question. Okay, so yeah. Oh yeah, this is me again. I have to figure this out. This is basically a cup. So it'd be like a 250, kind of a 200, 250 bottle. So this fit our 1/3 or our quarter and a bit. That was that one. This one is 8-ounce jar. I guess that would be, or 250 milliliters. This is a 16-ounce, right? So, but I tend to use a lot more of just the 8-ounce ones. Depends on what's in them and how frequently you go through it, right? Just in terms of keeping it, all, fresh, right? So if you go through it quite frequently, and we tend to in our house, that I don't use a lot of products because then I go through it more, and it just keeps things simpler, right? So if I just have a few products that are on the go like that. So yeah, so the 8-ounce bottles is fine. The 16-ounce, if you tend to do a ton of cleaning and you want the bigger size, that works as well. But quite often, just the 8-ounce ones are good ones for that. Yeah, excellent question. Okay, and the oil I put in the window cleaner, this is the new Abode blend. So this is the blend that doTERRA just came out with. So they looked at 100 different oils as to what their antibacterial, antiviral, all those kind of properties were, their cleansing properties. Then they narrowed that down to 30. They did some intensive, petri dish testing as to growing different cultures of different bacteria and different things that we can get around the home. Even E. coli, I think, was one of those, and Streptococcus, a whole bunch of those heavy hitters as well. And then from those 30, they picked the top 10 that gave a nice, that heavy hitters, but also broad spectrum of protection against different pathogens and stuff in the home. So this is we've had research tests done before on the On Guard blend, and that was super, super helpful. I think it was like after 7 days, and bacteria was still not regrowing from that area. So it was able to kill it quite effectively. And this would be even a deeper experience of that. We don't have the research in because it's so new, but it will go even further. And they're looking at like all of the known ones that have research that have gone into it when they pick that. So that's a brand new blend that came out in September. It smells really nice and works really well for cleaning. It is just external cleaning. So now we look at the Abode as our clean the house blend, and the On Guard as our protect the body blend kind of thing. Is kind of differentiating the two on that, but the On Guard does work for this as well. Good. Okay, and you can get this one. Good question, Yvonne. This one comes in. You can get this one on the Canadian site, like the pure oil, to drop it in there. But these little refills for the multi-purpose, and this is called the doTERRA Abode Multi-Purpose Surface Cleaner Concentrate. These do come from the States, okay? So the oil we can get in Canada, but the cleaner concentrate has not been approved across the border yet. That just takes a bit longer to get that in the works. Okay, good questions. And it really is that just took us less than 15 minutes. and we basically have all the cleaning stuff like ready for for the next go around. And I usually find it lasts me a couple of times going through. When I clean, like my cleaners come through and they just like give it like a huge clean. I might not be as effective as they are, but it's pretty easy to mix them up as you go along, and it's good to keep them fresh. So don't make huge quantities of them as you go along. Good. Okay. So we're going to stop the recording here on this one and pop onto Zoom for any questions just about the spring cleanse and how that works and how that's going on. So for anybody who's on the Facebook Live, there is a link in the description there to come and pop over, and I can actually write it back here in the comments. I think if I can do that. So to come a little closer. Put that in the comments as well. So you can join us over on the Zoom link if you have any further questions. Otherwise, we'll leave it here for the Facebook Live for people just to get that quick little DIY. You can go back to this whenever you need to get that going as well. Okay.